Hey guys, so this is a quick little video for you to do every day if you want to kind of keep your body moving. I've chosen to do the video with a birthing ball, partly because I want to really encourage you to buy one if you don't already have one. If you're about the same height as me, which is 5'5", then you want to buy one that's 65 inches. This one is actually too big. This is 75 inches and I've had to blow it out a bit or blow it down a bit to allow myself to sit on it properly. You do need to make sure it's the right size for you. What you want when you're sitting on a ball is for your knees to be just ever so slightly lower than your hips. I'm struggling to get mine into the right place because the ball isn't blown up to be firm. It's really quite soft, so I'm kind of sinking into it a little bit. Ideally, you want the ball to be firm with you sitting on it in the right position. So I'm just using it for the purpose of today. If you don't yet have a birthing ball, that's absolutely fine. You can do all of these things on a chair. It just feels slightly different because the ball allows you to sit a little bit more easily in this kind of slightly forwards tilted position, or more neutral position of the pelvis, I should say, whereby you're sitting really well on your sitting bones, which is what you want for optimum positioning of your baby for birth. Okay, so let's get on with it. So, sitting on either a chair or a ball. If you're sitting on a chair, I would just place a little rolled up towel, folded towel, lengthways underneath your pelvis. So one end of it will be at the back, one end of it will be at the front. So you're kind of sitting on it between the front of the pelvis and the back of the pelvis. That will again allow you to sit a little bit more easily in a neutral position. Once you've got yourself sitting comfortably, whether you're on a chair or a birthing ball, you're going to press a little bit into your heels, so you kind of activate the back of your legs rather than just the front of your legs. And that also will help you to sit a little bit more comfortably in this position and in an upright position. Now we're going to move our feet out to the sides to make space for our baby bump. And again, you're going to still press through your heels, so you're still feeling the back of your legs. Then I'm going to ask you to drop your chin and rock back a bit with your pelvis. Okay, so we're creating a bit of a rounded positioning in our back. Then with your hands either on the ball or on your knees, if you're on a chair, you're going to slide forwards a bit with your body, allowing your baby bump to drop towards the floor and your body to drop towards the floor. Now, if you're on a chair, you're going to focus on keeping your tailbone down towards the ball. If you're on the ball, you're also going to focus on keeping your tailbone down towards the ball. So you're trying not to rock yourself off the ball and come forwards. You're trying to round out your back. Then you're just going to hang here, either applying some pressure through the legs with your arms or applying some pressure through the ball with your arms. And then you're going to take some deep breaths from the chest into your back body. And you're going to breathe out through very soft parted lips. Try and make your exhale twice as long as your inhale. Let's do that again. One more time. And then use your hands to help you come back up to a seated position. Then you can move your feet, your legs back towards a hip distance apart position. And I'm going to turn to face you now so that it's easier for you to see. Staying in this lovely neutral pelvis, we're going to try and move our pelvis round in circles. So again, you can do this on a chair, but the ball allows you to move a little bit more freely with your pelvis. And it allows you to go really quite big if you want to. So if you're feeling like you really want to get the pelvis to move, you really want to get the ribs to move, then just go for it. Move really nice and freely through the pelvis, through the ribs. If you feel like you want to keep it really small, maybe you're not feeling like you want to do those great big movements right now, that's absolutely fine. Focus on just circling the pelvis. It's like you are drawing a circle on the floor with your tailbone. And then you can change direction. Again, it can be small or it can be big. Go with what feels really good and really freeing in your body right now. We're trying to free up any tension in the hips, any tension in the pelvis, even tension in the spine, because it works all the way up the whole chain of the pelvis to the head. And then you're going to stop in the center, again seated in that lovely neutral position, pressing down through your heels. Your knees should be just ever so slightly in front of your ankles, just very, very slightly, to allow you to sit properly. Then we're going to try and do a side bend. So when you're on the chair, it's a little bit harder to get this perfectly, I should say, than it is on the ball, because the ball, when you do it incorrectly, will move. And what we want to do is keep the ball really, really still. So you're going to take your left hand, bring it to the back of your head, and right hand onto the side of the ball, or just resting down by the side of a chair. We're going to take a nice big breath in, and as you breathe out, let your ribs drop a little bit so that you're not in this big arched position of your back. You want the ribs to stay down. Take another breath in, and then reach up through the side of the ribs, through the side of your waist. Let your left arm drag down towards the floor. So if we do this from the wrong kind of place on the ball is going to shift off to one side. If we do this by truly lengthening through the side of the waist, the ball's going to stay still. So if you're on a chair, what you're going to watch for is that you're not sinking into your opposite side, into your right side. You're not hiking your right hip up to allow you to do this. Your pelvis remains in a totally neutral position. Your trousers line is straight as you bend over. And then we're going to bend a little bit towards the right. So we're taking our left shoulder towards our right hip a little bit. And then we're going to take that left shoulder, up towards the ceiling a bit. Okay, and then come back into the center. Let's do the other side. So left hand comes down, right hand comes to the back of your head. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, reach up through the right side of the ribs. Keep your trouser line straight. Try not to hike that left hip up. Keep it down so the ball doesn't move if you're on a ball. Your left hand slides down the ball or reaches down towards the floor. And then you take a nice big breath here. And then you take your right shoulder slightly towards the floor, towards your left hip. Take another breath here. And then take your right shoulder towards the ceiling. And take another breath here. And back up to the center. Lovely. Okay, then we're going to come and stand up. If you've got the ball, you're going to want to move the ball so it's right up against a wall. A corner is a great place to do this because that will keep it really nice and stable. We don't want the ball to be sliding away from you. If you're on a chair, you'll be fine. The chair's not going to go anywhere. So you're going to stand in front of your ball or in front of your chair, really nice and tall. You're going to take one hand underneath your baby bump, other hand onto your chest. Try and line up your pubic bone with your chest. So you don't want your chest to be forwards here. Line them up. Soften your knees. Take a breath in. And drop the ribs a little bit. See if you can start to lift up right through the top of your head, right from your pelvic floor. So you physically feel your baby bump lifts a little away from your hand. Just a little bit. Now you're going to hold that feeling of lift and strength through the center of your body. As you hold that feeling of lift and strength, start to sit back. You're going to come and sit down towards the chair, towards the ball. We don't have to sit all the way down. We want to just touch it, just tap it, and then push down through your feet. Again, get that lift, really feeling your baby bump lift away from your hand as you bring yourself back up, so that you know that you're lifting without bearing down into your pelvis. Let's try that again. Breathe in. Lift up from the front of the pelvic floor through your lower belly, all the way up as you breathe out. Hold that lift, but keep breathing as you sit back. And you're trying to really get this hinge in your hips. You just tap the ball, tap the chair, and then keep that lift through your lower tummy to bring you back up again. Okay, let's do that again. Breathe in. Breathe out, lifting from the pelvic floor, lifting from your lower tummy, sitting back, tapping the ball and the chair, pushing back up again. And again. Breathe in at the top. And breathe out. One more time. Beautiful. Okay, now turn to face your chair, or your ball. Take the ball away from the wall. And then you're going to take your hands onto the ball. So you're kind of pressing down into the ball a little bit. You're trying to push the ball away from you without it actually moving. And then you're going to walk yourself backwards. As you walk backwards, keep pressing into the ball like you're pushing it away from you, but don't actually push it away from you. And then sit back into your hips. So what we're trying to get here is a nice neutral spine. As you're pushing down into the ball or the chair, try and press more through your little fingers and push your hands away from each other. So you then feel a lift in your armpits and some work in the side of your ribs. Then you can take your legs as wide as you need to make space for your baby. And then breathe here, nice deep breaths. One more breath. Good, and then lower yourself down nice and slowly to the floor and take a step forwards with one leg. Let's go with your right leg first. Again, if you've got the ball, great. You can also do this with the chair, but the ball, in a way, like I said, can be easier because you can move it more freely. So we're going to fold forwards. As you fold forwards, take your forearms onto the ball and lean into it. Press down into your forearms and try and push the forearms forwards into the ball a little bit. And then breathe in, and as you breathe out, lean forward slightly. So you start to bring the front knee slightly over the front ankle, and you try to pull your feet towards each other so you feel a nice little bit of a stretch in the front of your back hip. And breathe here. And then take it back. You can do that a few more times if you like. Otherwise, take that foot back, step the other foot forwards to the outside of the ball or the chair. Lean into the ball, pushing forwards with your forearms a little. That's going to help you keep the back in a nice neutral position. And then you're going to lean forwards with your pelvis, like you're bringing your pelvis towards the floor. And you're going to pause before the pelvis starts to really tip forwards. You want it to stay in a neutral position. Squeeze the feet towards each other and breathe here. Again, if you want to do that more times, go for it. Otherwise, come and sit down on your heels. Let your knees go nice and wide to make space for your baby. And then you can bring your arms onto the ball, head onto your arms or onto the ball, wherever you feel comfortable. Hang here and breathe. And that's it. So you can do this as many times as you like in a day, as many times as you like in a week. You can break this up into parts. If you've only got 5 seconds, just do the first exercise, pause it and do the next one later. You could take all day to do the whole routine, or you can do it all in one go. However you want to do it, go for it. The most important thing is that you keep moving, you keep your body strong and mobile and safe, and that's going to help you in so many ways throughout your pregnancy. I hope you enjoy the video. Leave a comment down below and let me know how you get on with it and if you have any questions.